Turn on this computer. All right, I probably should have put a little bit of makeup on. Welcome to this call, guys. I am thrilled that you guys all took the time to jump on because what this call is really all about is not necessarily even leader promotion. I mean, that is, if that becomes your goal, that is what we would love to have happen. But it's promoting to the next level, whether or not that is just getting your first sponsor and going to key 1, getting your second sponsor to key 2, and then even getting to group leader. And if you're a group leader on the call and you're ready to go to senior group or director, what I want to do is I want to dissect and just go through this because I feel like education is empowering you, and that will allow you to be able to make a good decision and know what is out there for you. And that is one of the big things. I feel like if there is an unknown and you don't know what you don't know, then you don't try to shoot for anything because you aren't sure what that next thing is. And so I wanted to use this to really educate you guys to know that there are some incredible things that the company offers us through this compensation plan just through sharing this business. Now, obviously, you guys were all given incredible opportunity, and you were shared this business by somebody. Somebody brought you in, and you are now on this call knowing that you're very thankful that somebody has given you or said a few words that brought you in. And so what I want to do is kind of just allow you to have the words to say. We're not going to do this on this call. This call is going to be just on this particular first one, just about what this next level can be for you. The next call, what we're going to do on the second one is going to be like, what is who is that person that I could potentially reach out to? How can I reach out to those people? How can I grow my business? What does that look like and what does that entail? And who is that support system and what is the tools that are used out there? So that is kind of what call number 2. Call number 3 will be just going over what hiccups, what hurdles, what different things that you might be coming across, or what you want to look at moving into 2020 with the opportunity of going to whatever that next level is. And who knows, between week 1, call 1, and call 3, you might have promoted to that next level, to the next level, to the next level. But if you're not, this is going to be a community call to where we can really dissect and find out what you need and what are the resources and how to find those tools. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to make sure that we have Q&A at the end. So I'm going to have Georgie, can you do me a favor? Because I can see you in my top right corner. Can you make sure at 9 o'clock you kind of give me a quick text or a call or something? Because I want to leave time for Q&A. And because there might be some different questions. So whatever questions you guys have, just jot them down. And even if we need to go back, we can go back. So let me share my screen. All right, share. Let me minimize this. Now, this is, I thought, a great quote. Surround yourself with people whose definition of you is not based on your history, but your destiny. And I hope that resonates. And I wanted to start our call off this way because I feel like as women, or as just people in this world that we live in, as a disconnected society, as far as just everything is social media. We all, have to look a certain way or be a certain way or present ourselves a certain way. That in this group of people, I hope that when we get done with this series, that you're going to see that the women that are on this call is not basing anything as far as support-wise based on your past, your present, but what your destiny can be. And that we all, through this whole process, can learn and grow and inspire each other to be whatever that is in this business. So I loved this quote, and I wanted to start it off that way to just, as our team, of course, is called Team Destiny, but I loved the fact of the correlation to that because it's my heart, it's my passion, and it gets me so excited to know that no matter where you're at in your life, you are going to be supported. And I'm hoping that you feel that through these 3 call series. All right, next. Let me exit out. I don't know why that's up there. Sorry. Must be old pictures from the team. Okay, so next I want to go over this wonderful little document. So we have a lot of different options to go through. One of the things, actually, let me just do the bigger picture, sorry. Because I feel like, let me minimize this because I can see everybody. I want you guys to know, this is off of 2018. Obviously, we haven't finished 2019 yet. But I want you guys to know the potential. I worked in corporate America for many, many years, and I was told many different times that I didn't have the education that I needed to. I didn't go to college. I didn't test well when I was in high school. And so I could test just fine as far as if you asked me the questions, but when I went to go take a test, I'd freeze. So I knew whatever I was going to have to do, I'd have to roll up my sleeves and I'd have to get it done. And there was many different times where I was passed up on different promotions because not of the work that I could do, but my slip of paper. There was also times where I got passed up because the company didn't perform the way it should be performed. So I want to show you this big picture because it doesn't matter where you're coming from, what you've achieved, or what you haven't achieved. That these different levels could be you. I am at the very top. I'm a senior executive director. I've been told numerous times, no, 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 by other companies that I can't achieve. But I'm here to tell you guys that whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve. That nobody is standing in your way. And I want you just to know that, look, even as a group average or group leader, the average starts out at $14,000. The high is 80 for last year. A senior group leader, which we're going to go into what all these details is the starting average is 22,000. The high is 64. Director is 39. The high is 87. Key director, which is 4 leaders, 62,000. 107 is the high. Senior director, $100,000 average to 166,000 high. Now, I just was newly promoted up to a senior executive director. I'm looking forward to 2020 and what that's going to bring for my family and I. But if I would have listened to the naysayers in my past through corporations and through different things, I would have never thought that I could have achieved anything in life, to the exception of this. But what my job at this company is to empower you guys to show you that you are capable, which allows me to be capable. So I will continue on to make that my passion. So as a senior executive director, and I get teary-eyed just thinking about this, the lowest is 217,000. The high is 438. How incredible is that? So I want you guys to look, and I don't want you guys to say, oh, you know what? I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I could achieve this. I work a full-time job already. I'm here to tell you that no matter where you're at, whether or not you still work a full-time job, helping people move throughout this business allows you to achieve whatever you want to achieve. Whether or not that's group leader, which is a great success, starting point, or even staying point, or moving through the ranks. Regardless, they're all great levels of leadership because you're allowing yourself to be able to share this opportunity. So I wanted to start with that. And I did post, I think I posted this in there so that you guys could see it. Now, what I want to do is we have these tools in these, or in our system. Can everybody see this okay? Can somebody give me a thumbs up? Does this pop up? Okay. I know I posted it, but I just wanted to make sure. So what I want to do is just, I'm going to do a quick diagram that I'm going to take it off here in the screen in just a second. But I wanted to give you guys a visual, and I know several of you guys printed this out. So what a consultant is when you join, your personal sales volume, so we're going to just look at this first screen, is if you just need to sell $1 in a rolling 3 months. So if you signed up in December, between December, January, and February, you would need to sell $1 to stay a consultant. Okay? And your commission rate, if you look over here to the right, would be 25% of your weekly sales. So if you submitted a party, you guys know this, and you would get weekly your 25% from if you did submitted 0 to $17.99. At the end of the month, if you hit $1,800 in sales, our fantastic company says, you know what? We'll give you a 5% back pay bonus, which several of you guys took advantage of. So if you did, let's say 3 parties and it ended up being $1,800 even, you'd get your weekly 25%, but at the end of the month, you get that bonus check, which is always fun, and that's an additional 5%. So that is basically, if you guys look at this box that is applied here, that is for a consultant, a key 1, and key 2. Now I'm going to go into what a key 1 is. A key 1 is somebody that has submitted $500 in sales, and they have sponsored 1 person. So that 1 person, let's say we've got Georgie. I'm sorry, I keep picking on Georgie. I can't even see Georgie anymore. But let's say Georgie signed on. She submitted $500 in sales in December. She sponsored her first person. And let's say that person submitted $1,000 in sales. Okay? If you look on over here, there's this category that says personal sponsoring bonus. Georgie would make 3% off of that person that she brought in. So there is a minimum. She has to do that $500 in sales to be able to get that 3% off of her this month in December. But anything that her sponsor does, she's going to make 3%. Not a leader, not anything like that. It's just she brought 1 person into the business. So she still is going to get that extra sponsoring bonus. Our company says, good job. You shared this opportunity. We're going to give you that little kickback. That kickback comes at the end of the month. So because they want to know exactly what Georgie's sponsor does for the entire month to be able to pay her back. Now, let's say Georgie, I apologize, Georgie, your name's going to get mentioned a few times. It's on my brain. She decides to sponsor 2 people this month. So she does her party and it has $500 in sales. She submits that. Well, what happens is she goes, they scratch out that 3% because now she's got 2 people and that have submitted in sales. And she has bumped up to 4% on, no longer doing 3% on that first person. She's getting 4% on both. So Georgie's first sponsor, she's no longer making 3%, she's making 4% on. And her second sponsor, she is now making 4%. It moves her up a percentage. Okay? So, again, at the end of the month, they're going to look at her and say, okay, what did her 2 girls do? We're going to back pay her. They're going to look at her personal sales, and they're going to back pay her if she's over $1,800. So lots of extra bonuses and perks. This is why our compensation plan is one of the best out there. Now I want to talk about a group leader. Now with a group leader, there is a sales requirement for that person to do. So Georgie says, you know what, I'm really liking this. I really like to share about the business because, you know, I found my first girl, Susie, and my second girl, Jamie, they're really loving this business, and I was a part of that. I was really able to give them a gift. I see what it's doing for them. You know what? I'm going to go to my parties and I'm going to keep talking about it. So she sponsors her 3rd person. So in order to qualify as a group leader, Georgie would have to do $1,200 in personal sales in December. So that's what, on average, about 2 parties. For our team, maybe 1.5, but we're going to go with 2 parties. Okay, so about 2 parties. And she did, let's say, 1,201. Her 3 sponsors, that are personal. That means she personally sponsored them. It wasn't her sponsor somebody. It's just she personally sponsored 3 people. Her group sales, this is actually where I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Everybody grab a piece of paper. Sorry, not to pause it. You can grab just a piece of paper, because this is an actual diagram that I think is better, and I've done this with numerous of my girls. Actually, majority of my leaders have gone through this. I want you guys to draw a circle, okay? So draw a circle just like that. And in that circle, I want you to write you at top. Sorry, it's backwards. And 3 little circles. Okay. Then I want you to write on the side, sorry, I don't know if this is backwards for you guys, PSAQ. What I want you to write next to the P is write out the word personally. Next to the S, sponsored. Next to the A, active. And next to the Q, qualified. So just like this. Personally, sponsored, active, and qualified. Personally means you personally sponsored them. It wasn't your leader. It wasn't anybody, like you personally, they signed up underneath you on your system, okay? So that means personally, you sponsored them. Active means they've at least submitted $1 in the past 3 months. However, this is the one thing that I always tell people, that as you're looking qualified, to become a qualified consultant for you, they must have done $500 in sales in 1 month. So that means if you sign somebody up today and she hit $500 in sales in December, she becomes a qualified consultant for you. She did $200 in sales this month and $300 in January. She's not a qualified consultant. It has to be within the month. So 1 month. Now let's say she doesn't do it in December, but she does it in January. She does $500 in sales. She becomes a qualified consultant for you in January. There's no time limit at all. So, but once she does $500 in sales that month, she's qualified for life as long as she stays an active consultant for you. Okay? If there's any questions on these, just put a question mark on your paper and I'll make sure that we go through them at the end. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take, say Q1, hold on one second. I'm a visual person, so I hope these are helping you guys. So you've got your 3 circles. You're going to put PSAQ1, PSAQ2, PSAQ3. And we're just going to say that you guys all started December 1st. You have 0 consultants to start, but you got 3 of them. Let's say this week at your party, okay? Each of them, to become qualified, obviously would have to do $500 in sales. Underneath the word you, I want you to write the number 1,200. Because remember, 1,200 is what you personally have to do in personal sales. Now, your total team as a whole is, and I just mark it off to the side, is 3,500. So you plus your 3 people have to do 3,500. Now the company makes a little rule here, and I think it's actually a very good rule, that you can't do the whole 3,500. 1,000 of it has to come from your downline, from your team. Okay? So let's say you did 1,200 and your girls did 500, 500, 500. Well, that's only 2,700. So there has to be a difference somewhere, shape, or form within this group that comes from. Because it always has to, what's really cool about this, ladies, is you don't have a boss to promote you up. All it is computer system. The computer system goes in and checks you and says, oh, she did $1,201. Oh, wait, she's got 3 girls that have become qualified. She's personally sponsored them, and 1,000 of the sales came from them. Now, what it will do is the last box has to be checked. It'll say, is there $3,500 in total team sales? That can come from you. It can come from them, wherever. It just has to come from one of them, okay? When that happens, so you know how I talked about you get 1 from your first sponsor. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen real quick. Let me go back over, move this over. So when you get that first sponsor, you get 3%. When you get that second sponsor, you get 4% on both of them. You bump up. Well, what happens is when you hit this level, you keep your 4%, but it gives you another 5% on your girls, which technically bumps you up to 9%. So let's say your team did $1,000 in sales. You made 90 bucks on that same Friday night that maybe you had a party. And let's say your party was $1,000. Instead of your 25% or your 30%, guess what the company gives you? They give you 40%. So you move into this box. So you see where it says 35% on personal sales volume, always. This $1,800 goes away. There's no longer an $1,800 requirement. It's just the $1,200. You go to this big box of 35%, but your central group sales, your personal sales fall into that too. So you get your extra 5%. So a total of 40% on your pay. So example, every week, let me take it off of share screen. And I'm going to unmute everybody because I want to make sure that this is clear. Or you guys can unmute as you guys have questions. Take it off. I'm going to do gallery view. So when I go out and do a party, I get my weekly 25% commission every week. So if it's a $1,000 party, I make my $250 every week. But at the end of the month, I get that extra bonus of 35%. So that would be another 10% off my personal, and then 5% off of that central bonus because my sales clump into that. So I get 40%. So that $1,000 party is no longer $250. It's no longer $300 at the 30%. It's $400 for the same amount of work. When I go out the door and do a party, nothing changes when I'm walking out the door as a group leader. I'm doing the same party the same way. I am now getting paid more, which is a big chunk of change. My girls, let's say I have 3 girls going out on a Friday night. They're doing, let's just say for math's sakes, because I can't do math in my head, they have those 3 girls go out and do $1,000 party each. That's 90, 90, 90. And I have my $400 party. Now, how much is that in total? All on one night, though, is what I'm saying is it is huge. So that $250 that I would have made on that Friday night has gone from $400 to $490 to $560 to I don't know what else after that. A lot of money, right? Does anybody want to put it in chat real quick what it is? If I had my calculator.
770.
How much?
I think it's 770.
Is it 770?
670, sorry.
670. $670 in one night. How incredible is that? All for what? Because you shared the business with somebody else. You know you love it. You're going to parties. You're having a great time. You're enjoying. I mean, we get to drink on the job. We get to have a blast, you know, as a joke. But we're able to socialize, and you're just sharing that gift. Now, what I want to do is I want to open it up for questions on this particular topic. Did anybody have any questions or anything not make sense? Or, you know what I mean? Because I just want to go over that first and foremost. Sorry, my heat
So for the qualified consultant,
Mhm.
If they do the 500 in 1 month, then they're qualified for life. They
Correct.
don't have to do it every single month.
Correct. They're always, once
Okay.
they become qualified, they stay qualified, as long as they've submitted $1 in every 3 months for you.
Right. Okay.
If for some reason they go month 4 and they haven't submitted $1 in every 3 months, once they submit that $1 again, they become active again. They don't have to redo 500 to become active.
Right. Okay.
Good question. Anybody else? If you're confused about anything, there's no stupid question. I mean, I love, like, there's so many people that have asked questions before, so I've heard it all. If nobody asked, then that means I really did a good job. Just kidding. Everybody got it?
Hey, Emmy.
Yeah.
Will you clarify if somebody needs to submit $1 to stay active? Is that a personal order or is that a consultant order?
That's a great question. It is always, it can be a non-party order or it can be a party order. So it can never be just a consultant order where you'd get your discount, like a 50% or 70%. It has to be either a non-party order or a party order. And the party order has to submit the party for it to count in that particular month. If you keep a party open and just because you submitted orders and they did direct ship, those orders do not count for that month's sale until you close out the entire show.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Who else?
So a catalog party, Emmy, counts?
Anything counts as long as it's not a consultant order. Like where, and a consultant order is where you go to put supplies in and you put in like personal pieces. But everything else counts. The computer system, again, doesn't know where it came from, whether or not it was a live party, a catalog party, online orders. It just knows that at the end of the month, when it looks at those different criterias, that is all it cares about. So there's not somebody going in saying, oh, that's this. Oh, that's this. No, it is literally just saying, does she have $1,200 in sales? Did her team as a whole do $3,500? Does she have 3 active girls that have at least submitted $1 in every 3 months that are personally sponsored by her? And did 1,000 of it come from her team, not just her? If those boxes are all checked, you promote up to the next level. It's crazy how easy. I think sometimes we like overcomplicate it in our head, and it can be truly simple if you're just sharing the business and working your business. And when I say working your business, it could be a party a week. It could be whatever, you know what I mean? Like it literally is, they have it to be one of the stepping stones, and they want it to be a stepping stone that you're able to take and move to the next level and the next level and the next level. Because majority of the people they know work full time. And so they want this leadership program to be about women helping women no matter where they're at in their life and getting the most bang for your buck. And obviously, as you guys can see, getting those overrides is, a great opportunity to change drastically your why. And whether or not your why is to help other people, whether or not your why is something financially, but it does allow you to be able to do that. All right, let's see. Can you please walk through the group leader 25% on parties, paycheck, and how and when the 35 and 40% are earned? Okay, let me just make sure I understand that question. Okay, oh wait, sorry, I'm going back. Okay. What happens if you don't sell $1,200 per month or meet the $3,500? It just means what happens is you have a grace month. So when you promote up, you hit that month, and the company gives you in a 1-year period 1 grace month. So if you don't hit it for a particular month, they actually still pay you the overrides regardless. After you use your 1 grace month, you then have to earn it each month. So you have to do the 1,200 or the 35. If you don't hit it, you just don't get the overrides. If you hit it the next month after that, you get the overrides. It's not like there's somebody saying, haha, we got to take your little door sign down and up, down and up, down and up. You know what I mean? It's not the same type of concept. Now, what we do, and as what we try to work with you as a leadership team, as myself and whoever you're on team-wise, if you're underneath another leader, is we help encourage you and support you to where you don't have to worry about that. How can we come up with that game plan? It happens. It happens to all of us. But what I do love is that the support system amongst the leaders is huge. And so we are always working together to better our teams and our personal business. I hope that helps for that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Leanne's question. She said, can you please walk through the group leader 25% on parties paycheck and how and when the 35 and 40% are earned? So basically, again, the 25% is weekly. So you close a party by Friday at midnight PST time, which is, California time. You get paid the following week. So depending on when the pay cycle is, it's either Tuesday or Wednesday. Usually I think it's Wednesday of the following week, depending on your bank. You get that weekly. But what happens again with the computer system is it looks at the end of the month and it says, so yesterday at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it went back and it looked at what everybody did. And if you hit over $1,800 in sales, but you didn't hit the other boxes for a group leader, then it back paid you that 5%. If it checked off all the boxes for group leader, then it went back and back paid you for the 40% and those overrides that you were due. Does that answer that question? Perfect. So what I love is you could start out the month not having anybody on your team, not even having, a person that you even know of to ask. Or, you could start out where you have one party on your books, but you added 2 more. And that our company doesn't say, okay, good job, you did it this month, so we're going to give you overrides next month on whatever you do. No, it says, oh my goodness, we're going to back pay you for everything that you worked hard on, no matter however you end. Which I think, I've been in direct sales for 12 years, and the company I worked before never did that. So when I got X, Y, and Z, so I hit the X, Y, and Z for group leader, I didn't start earning those overrides till the next month. I never got a back pay on anything. So this is huge that you can go back even as a key 1 or a key 2 and so on and get those back pays for everything that you've done, which I think is, awesome. Okay. You receive a miss. I don't know if it's, FMA, sorry. She was just answering that one. I'm going to make sure. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Nope. All right. So let me go through. I'm going to share my screen again because I want to show you something incredible. So people always tell me, oh, you're a senior executive director. What do you have to do? You know what? I have to do exactly the same thing that you have to do as a group leader. So if you guys look at this, so group leader, we already talked about 1,200. You have to have 3, 3,500. You get this. But what happens is senior group leader. Guess what the status quo is? 1,200, 3 active people. But that just means a senior group leader means, let's say Tammy is one of mine. So Tammy Carver, wave your hand. She's one of mine. So when she promoted up, let's say I was a brand new group leader. When she promoted up, I would become a senior group leader because she's one of my directs. And so, but nothing changes as to what I need to do personally. But what happens is I go from making the normal 9%, like we talked about before, but now on her level, I'm making 5% on her team. So I'm getting this extra little bonus. So every time one of Tammy's girls now goes out and does a party, let's say on a Friday night, I've got my $1,000 show. I've made now 400 because I'm a group leader. Tammy goes out and does a party. She's one of mine, personally sponsored. Let's say she's one of my directs. I would make 9% off of a $1,000 party that she did. But let's say 2 of her people went out and did a party on a Friday night. That's 5% and 5%. So that I'm making by training and supporting her as a team, but it goes down. When I get to director, nothing changes. 1,200, 3 personal people, but now I have 2 people that have now promoted up. Team sales are the same. I just see how that works. It just goes down to level 3. I'm making 3%. Key director, you do 1,200, you have 3, everything stays the same. It just means that I'm growing my first line leaders. And that means, let's say Tammy's girl and her girl and her girl all, keep sponsoring. I'm still making percentages off of each of those. Senior director, same sales across the board. Now, what happens when you get to 50,000 as an organization sales? There's something that changes. That is where, when you get that, let me move this over here. You get, if you guys can see this, a $750 BMW car allowance. So when you have 6 leaders, so you promoted out 6 leaders and became a senior director, and your team as an organization does 50,000, you get automatically every month a $750 cash bonus plus a trip to Austria for home office, which I was actually in Austria leaving yesterday at this time last year. Kind of sad I'm not going again. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, man. But I do want to show too, let me minimize this real quick. Senior executive director, that means 8. That's the level I'm at. And now the only thing that changes is that our team has to do as an organization. Doesn't have to. It just means that if I don't hit 100,000, whatever level I hit, again, this is another computer checkoff box. We actually did $208,000 in sales for November. I had 8 active group leaders. So my monthly bonus became $1,500 for my BMW, but I have to go get still. So that kind of gives you an idea of the opportunity. Nothing changes. Let me stop share. Nothing changes from a group leader all the way to a senior executive director as far as what the personal qualifications. The only difference is that I am training and supporting more women to become a group leader, to experience the 40% discount or 40% commission and these other overrides. With that being said, I just wanted to show you guys what the potential, because if I wasn't shown, I wouldn't work towards it. If I didn't know it exists, why would I go after it? And so those are some of the things that I love. People think, oh, I can't do what you do. I'm not doing anything different than a senior group leader or a group leader. I'm just sharing this opportunity with women and teaching them that they are capable of sharing this business with other people, and that my training that I do with everybody is how to do a party that we do on a weekly basis. That's it. So this is why it's so key and why I wanted to do this call, so that you guys could see the potential as to what 2020 can bring and what it can do. And I have girls, I would say 80% of my leadership team works full time. I got Janet on here. I got Georgie on here. I got Monique on here. Who else do I have as far as leaders that work full time? I can't see who all. Suzanne works full time. So you've got quite a few leaders that are here that work this business around their full-time job. And what they're doing is they're choosing, instead of going to that party and settling for $250, they're saying, that $1,000 party can be $400. All right. Who has questions on any of the career plan? Anybody?
Yeah, I mean, hi. I posted a question there just now. Just to be clear, if one of my consultants promotes to lead, the money that she sells the following month no longer contributes to my team's total, correct?
It's the month after. So let's say somebody promoted up in November. December, they would still count towards you. It would be January.
Okay.
So the company doesn't just say, oh, we're going to take her out of your 3,500 the next month. Good luck. They say, we're going to give you a whole nother month to be able to find that person to replace but it counts towards your organizational sales. So, that 50,000 or that 100,000, it still counts towards that and you still make your percentages. It just doesn't count as one of your 3 and your 3,500.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's very nice of them. Thank you.
It is. The company, what I love, and I love to stress this, is they're women that look at this opportunity and they were in the field at one point in time. They have a heart. They want to make sure this business is successful for you and that you can grow a business that lasts a long time. Not something that you see with other direct sale companies where it's a one and done. This is something that when you purchase your kit, most people think, I'll see what happens with it. I'll give it a month. And that's truly what we sell because we know that if we can show them what it can really do, you can truly transform whatever that is with your why. Whether or not that's to pay off college debt, you can pay it off 10 times faster, credit card debt, or take a vacation that you've always dreamt about. I mean, whatever that is, you now have the power to do whatever it is that you want to do quicker and without killing yourself. I know I said this on numerous different calls. We're not the 1950s woman anymore. We're not the ones that, the husband and the kids are gone from 9 to 5. All we have to do is keep the house tidy and put dinner on the table. We have to do all those things, still work, still run errands, still, do X, Y, and Z. I mean, we've got 8 plates spinning. So what I love is that our compensation plan can work to where you are still, as a group leader, I would say max, if they're doing just one party a week, I would say 8 hours, a max a week that they're working with a party, with their team. I would say max. If they're doing more, it's because they're choosing to do more, which is just fine. And even as me as a senior executive director, I would say, at making the income that I'm making, I would say around 30 hours a week if I'm doing one party a week. And that's senior executive director that has, how many different legs and how many different things and how many, and the income that I'm making. I mean, of course, I know you start making $200,000 to $400,000. You gotta put a little bit of energy and sweat into it. Come on, But what I'm saying is that it, even as a first step, as a group leader, it doesn't add a whole lot of time into the equation. And that's what's so neat about it.
So, Emmy, what's the average amount of time that you put into your business per week? And I realize, like, you're a senior executive director, so there's going to be more time put into your business. But I'm just curious.
I would say about 30 to 35 hours a week. I think it would be realistic between the calls that I do, and that's me doing between around 2 parties a week. Like if I try to do my 2 parties a week, it's about 30 to 35 hours.
That's not bad.
Anybody else? Questions? Any other leaders like to add anything that, maybe even a group leader? I'm going to pick on somebody. Okay. I'm not going to pick on you, Georgia, because I keep calling you out, but I might pick on Janet. Janet, will you unmute yourself? I just want to, not to put you on the spot, but I know you work a full-time job and you actually just had one of your highest months, coming off of that too. And I want to kind of ask you, how many, if you were to say, not all your extra, postings or whatever, but just working with your team and your parties, what do you think you do per week?
I would have to say, probably individually with all my girls, if I added it all together per week, it would probably be an hour and a half to 3 hours a week I spend with them. And probably parties. Now, are we talking per month or per week?
Per week.
So let's say one party a week, so 4 hours max.
Okay, so you average about anywhere from 5.5 to 8 hours. Okay, so I was pretty on track. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, and then when you went from, because you're a group leader, when you went from being a consultant to a group leader, and maybe you don't mind, I hope you don't mind sharing this, but your pay, if you were to make just a consultant pay, what was your overrides this month? Because I know you work with your team and you love to empower them, so it's a justified amount.
It is. It's a big difference. Off the cuff, I don't know what all right, so I know my income, 40% on what I make, and then 9% of each one of my girls, and there's 10, and then 3% of what their girls make. So I guess the difference in income is it's huge. It's ridiculous.
Do you know what your end
I would say
for November was?
I really don't. I want to say probably $1,200 extra. Would that
Just
be?
off of them.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So she averages about one party a week. Is that accurate?
Yes.
One party a week, but off of her team, just her team, it was an extra $1,200.
You know what? That can't be right. Let me do that.
I think it's more than that, but
Yeah, I think it is. I got to be honest with you. That doesn't sound.
you know what? If you get a second, check your financial report real quick. Not to put you on, but I just want. I'm like, I think it's a lot more than that. But I thought maybe I was. But what I want to just make a point is that the potential for what you're doing now to what you can do is going to be really crazy good. And what I want, we're at 9:21. Not to keep you guys very long, but what I want to do homework wise is between now and next week's call is I want you, now that you've kind of seen the big picture, you see what Touchstone can give you and how you are no different than myself, than Monique, than Janet, than Georgie. We all were on the other end of the camera, sitting there thinking, can I do this? Can I share this business? Am I capable? What is so cool about this, whether or not you feel like you can be a leader or not, there's always potential to grow to become a leader. And we were all there at one point, and we can all say, we'll surround you and teach you, and you'll never be by yourself.
Okay, Emmy, I figured it out.
Okay.
So it was an extra $2,100.
Okay, that's what I was thinking it was. I was like, there is no way it was under $2,000.
I was thinking it, yeah. So it was $2,100 off them and 40% of what I sold. So that's a huge difference. And really, I have to be honest with y'all, what Emmy is saying is 100% true. The difference between what I did prior to being a leader and as a leader, it's immaterial. You can't even, I didn't even notice a difference. I mean, doing for myself and having one or two girls do it alongside me as consultants with me, and then adding a third and becoming a leader, there was no change in my workload at all.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. So with that being said, my homework is for you to write down, why would leadership be important to you? Meaning, how would it directly affect you? And it could be from a personal growth, aspect. It doesn't have to be just a financial, or it could be both. If you are already a group leader, how would it make you feel if you were to promote somebody that's on this call? Because everybody was invited by somebody, whether or not I invited them, they invited you, whatever it is. And we all think that there's a special gift inside you and that there's something special that we know that you're capable of doing. And so now it's just partnering with us to help you do it. And all that scary stuff that people think is out there, it's not. Is there work involved? Absolutely. Do we still have to roll up our sleeves and learn something new? When we had to get on a bike, it was something new. When we had to tie our shoes, it was something new. We always have to learn something new throughout our life to improve and grow ourselves. That's all this is. Think of it as riding a bike or learning how to brush your teeth. But there was always somebody coaching you when you did that, to know that you could do it. And that's what this is going to be over the next several weeks and into 2020. Whether or not you achieve it, this month, next month, February, whatever that may be, just know that we're really excited to be able to help you on this journey, and that now the partnership is going to be able to grow. So homework is, why would this be important to you? What maybe is the scariest aspect of it? If there is anything, there might not be, or there might be. So that it's all out there on the table. So when you are talking to your leader this week, you're able to go through, and instead of it being a stopping point, it can be a starting point to grow from. And that to me is truly exciting. So next call will all be about sponsoring, who, where, how to look for them, all that different stuff. Okay? I hope this helped. Am I missing anybody? Oh. Remember those 30 hours per week are worked as you have time, not when you were told to write. Oh, yes. Tammy made a good point. Yes, I get to work when I want to work. That is so true. Yes. So I don't miss a lot of stuff. But I hope this did help. And I look forward to next week and really kind of diving in, seeing what the aha moments that you guys took away from writing down your why and where you want to go, and then transitioning it into then a learning who and where and how. Okay. All right. You guys have a fantastic night, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. All right.
Thanks, Emmy.
Have a good night.
No problem. You too.